Okay, so I'm gonna do some chit chatting, and as I chat with y'all, know that this video is probably gonna be on the long side. So, life, is about improving who you are as a person to then further improve your relationships with other people, whether it be family, friends, a lover, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, an animal, whatever you're attached to. And I think that everyone is uniquely individual and that we all possess certain personalities and traits that either we were born with or that our environment molded us to be a certain way. So it takes us to your nature versus nurture thing. I know that I can tend to use something as like a crutch maybe. And then there's times where I don't. And I'm the type of person where things may be going on and I don't realize it until it's brought to my attention. At that point I can go, oh! And then the light bulb goes off and then whatever actions are needed. So I think that some people, learn life lessons the hard way and others need help. I think in order for a person to change, two things have to happen. One, something really catastrophic had happened in their life. Like maybe they had an accident, a death in the family, something, or a divorce. Something really big has to happen for them to kind of have a wake-up call, an actual wake-up call to change who they are. Some people, on the other hand, they need professional help to break habits, cycles, and patterns. And you need, therapy, and you go and work with a therapist. And I know that there's things in this world that I can do, and I'll be gladly to do. And I know there's things in this world that I won't. And if I won't do it, it's either because I can't, or I just simply am unwilling, or wanting to perform the tasks that is needed. And yes, life isn't fair, but I think if you surround yourself with the right people and the positive people, it makes the wild ride worthwhile. For example, something that I used to do, and I don't do it as much, particularly with this one person, when they would put certain expectations on me or want me to do something. If I couldn't, I would verify it by saying, well, I have Asperger's syndrome, I have an autism spectrum disorder, I'm an ASPy, so that's why I can't do it. And they would rebuke that. It'd be rebuttal, and they would say that I was using it, my disability here, if you will, whatever you want to call it, as an excuse or a crutch or a way to get out of something, when I never really truly honestly wasn't doing it like that, but that's how it came across to the other person. And one of the things you have to realize is people's perceptions are their reality. So if he perceived me as using Asperger's as an excuse, then that's what he believed and that was his reality. And me, on the other hand, I was like, no, what are you, nuts? I don't do that. And I realized that in doing so, it added fuel to the fire. So I said to myself, and you're pretty good looking, and any guy would be pretty dang lucky to have you. And any fool that walks away from you, they're just stupid idiots, because they're the one that are missing out. So I thought, going forward, trying to mend some relationships, if ever a situation arises where my first thought, inclination, is to strictly go, oh, nope, can't ask me, sorry. Instead of doing that, what I can say is, let me think about this, give me some time, whether it be a day, 3 days, hopefully no more. Hopefully I can have an EAT, for them on when I can get back to them. You don't have to decide right then and there. And then you work it out with a therapist. You work it out with yourself, maybe a family member or a trusted friend who's a neurotypical helps you out. And then you can kind of see, alright, is this something that is truly never going to change? Or can this habit be changed? Because I believe that people, they can modify and change their behaviors with therapies and medications where necessary. And that if you're having trouble with somebody, you have to examine yourself, examine the other person, and you want to examine the perspective of the neutral observer. Someone who really is just kind of on the sidelines, who isn't really specifically attached in any sort of deep way to the one person over the other, so there's no favoritism. They're just someone who's just kind of like, alright, this is your point of view, this is his, alright, let's work it out. So I think that if you have a known problem, like let's take the TV series The Glee Project, for example. There was this one contender, he was like the top 4 but got sent home. His name was Michael, and he, week after week, actually there's 2 people, but I'll talk about him. Week after week he got the same critique, whether it was from the regulars that saw him, or each week there's a different mentor, and they all said, like, you need to loosen up, you're stiff, you're rigid, like, it's coming off in such a way. And then, well, the other girl, she always came off as timid, shy, not really, didn't want to let her hair down, loosen up. So these people, week after week, they'd get the same criticism, so you have a choice. When someone gives you feedback, whether it's negative or positive, you can take that set feedback and run with it in a good way and use it and change your actions and behaviors, or you can just toss it in the trash, not use it. And you can see that, you know, the one got sent home sooner than the other on the Glee Project, but that they did struggle because, and be in the bottom 3 all the time, because even though they got this feedback, you would have thought something would have clicked in their minds and something would have changed. And for some people it takes longer than others, and I think you need to think about, if you're in a situation, or about the situation as a whole, and say, does this person really benefit me, or do I really benefit from them? Are they helping to raise me up, or are they constantly putting me down, belittling me, making me cry, upset, sick, losing my appetite, like losing sleep, or am I sleeping too much because I'm too upset about what happened, or can I not stop eating because I'm depressed? Like, whatever happens to you when you get in a weird funk, you need to like really, I think, dissect situations. But I honestly think that certain behaviors can be changed and modified. And so going forward, I feel like thinking, okay, if my first inclination again is to say, no, I have Asperger's syndrome, like that's going to happen, yeah, when hell freezes over, instead of being so rigid and stuck like that, instead, I'm going to talk it out, work it out, and maybe come to a compromise and say, well, you really want to just spend 2 hours at the county fair or wherever, and it's going to be a particularly hot day and sensory overload in the heat, you know, I can probably go for an hour. If you want to stay 2 hours, that's fine. I can drive myself and meet you there. If you want to come pick me up and we just both go for an hour and then come back to the nice cold air-conditioned house, that's fine too. So I think you can definitely work and compromise with people. I think if people truly honestly care about you and have your best interest, that they will be there. They will be kind and nice. If you have an annoying habit or do something that irritates them, I do think that they can, in a nice way, kind of tell you to slow it down, knock it off, cut it off. and the like, and not just be so harsh to like quickly punish you, because that's what it is, kind of like you meant, okay, I'm going to take it away, and you're not going to hear from me for a while because I'm really angry right now and I need some time, which I get if you want to take a day, 3 days to kind of process what's been going on and deal with your emotions and put them into check. Like, my vision getting blurry. Like, that's fine with me, but when you're just quick to like jump to punishment that doesn't fit the crime, then that's where I'm like, really? Like, you want to be friends with someone that's a little like overreacting too much about it? I mean, if you do something that bugs a person, then you should try to learn to not do that. And it can be tricky, but just remember, in life, everything that we learn, we can unlearn it. So if we try hard enough, whether we need medications or therapies or someone just to practice with, then we can get through something. If you have an issue where you have too much time on your hands, and so you're trying to find someone to talk to, and they're at work and you get them in trouble, well, then maybe it's time you get busy. And if you can't get a job, then maybe do volunteering or take up a hobby. Just try to fill a chunk of your day where you can't really be on the phone, and even if you texted the person and they didn't respond right away, you don't really have too much time to think about it and to wonder and worry about it, because you're so busy with what you're doing that you don't have the time to stop and check the phone. So I think that there are certain things that each individual can do and some things that each individual can't do. And the key operative word there would be individual, because even though we all may have an BASD, we're not the same. Yes, there's a core foundation that divides us from an autistic person that makes us who we are. We're like our own little sector, our own little branch of this autism tree. And I'm getting tired. Woo. So I think like it just yeah, there's this core sense, but then when you look beyond that and dig deeper, we actually are human beings with personalities, and that's what we want you to see is our personalities, and not someone who's has an autism spectrum disorder. So that's my long video. I'm gonna go have a Dove bar now. If there's one left, which there better be. And then maybe I'll just go to bed. We'll see. But I'm getting tired and like nodding off as I'm filming this. And it's already long enough.